What is more valuable than your peace? Think about it. What's more valuable than your peace? If you ask me, the answer is nothing. And as my dear friend once sang to me, if it costs me my peace, it's too damn expensive. She sang it way better than I did, but she had a really great fucking point. And the problem is that although I would imagine that you would agree with me that there's almost nothing that's more valuable than our peace, that we, and probably even you at times are prioritizing money, relationships, jobs, or some other shit above our peace. And the byproduct of that is we find ourselves in constant states of stress, of anxiety, of not being fulfilled. And my intention with this video is to actually get straight into, one, why that is, but two, how we can actually start to prioritize our peace over all the other bullshit that wants to drain from it. Hello and welcome from Mexico City. As you can see, we're gonna have all kinds of an immersive experience today. We have people who are walking around in the park, and you might even hear some noise in the background. So I just wanted to say, let's include that in today's conversation. And because we are in Mexico City, we're gonna throw a little bit of Spanish in there. Why the fuck not? And let's have some fun. So some 5-6 years ago, my friend Cayla, I love you, Cayla, you may never see this, but I want you to know that I love you, said to me, if it costs me my peace, it's too damn expensive. And I remember when those words hit, it felt like my body just sank. Because I felt the truth in those words, but yet I know that I haven't always, as a byproduct of how I was thinking, how I was feeling, and how I was acting, how I was believing about myself in my life, I wasn't actually living that truly. I wasn't living that peace was the most important thing. Take, for instance, for me, think in the context of health, wealth, relationships, jobs, all these different areas. One area for me that I was experiencing the biggest dip in my peace and my quality of life was with money. Because like many, I wasn't educated, I wasn't taught on how to be good with money. And the byproduct of that was I had more debt than I had money. I couldn't take myself on little dates, let alone when I was in a relationship with my significant other. I didn't have the ability to be able to do simple things like take her on a date on a regular basis, or to be able to get my family gifts at Christmas. And by the way, I want to be clear that I'm very much in the understanding that these are luxuries, they're not necessities, and I don't necessarily feel the need to buy into formalities because everyone else does it. But at the same time, it'd be really fucking nice to be able to have the option and to have the choice to be able to say, hey, I would like to go and invest my money and my time here, or I would not. But when I don't even have the resources available, that option is stripped away from me. And so here I am, and I'm unable to take myself or the people that I love on dates, get gifts, or even, for instance, going out with friends to a dinner, and everyone's like, I'm getting this, I'm getting that. And they're like, what are you gonna get? And I'm like, I'm fasting. Which was my not so clever way of saying, I don't actually have money, and I just want to be here because I want to enjoy your company. Now, mind you, woe is me, first world problems. There are people out there in the world who have it way worse than I did, and I do. And I am not oblivious to that. This isn't me bitching and complaining about that at all. It's more so that it came to a point where I realized that my belief and my relationship to money was the reason why I continued to not be able to provide for myself and the people that I loved financially. It was fucking with my ability to fully have peace. And what I would come to realize about this was that in this book, Atomic Habits, written by James Clear, one of the things that he distinguishes is the idea of embodying the identity of the person that you want to be before you are that person. Here's what I mean, or he means. if you want to be healthy, you have to start to think, feel, and act like a person who is healthy. When you're going out to dinner, and this is the question that we're asking, is does a healthy person choose to eat high quality, grass-fed, regeneratively sourced, from as close to from earth and from source as possible, or do they choose to eat processed, high fructose, corn syrup foods, so on and so forth? Not as a matter of right and wrong, but which one does a healthy person choose? Answer is clear, right? Well, a person who is of money or has good money conscience and does well with money, how do they relate to money? Do they think, I'm not enough, I can't make good money? Do they choose to get the higher quality product that they know is going to last them a really long time and that they love, and it's going to be a little bit more money, but they know it's going to last them a long time? Or do they always say, yeah, it's too expensive, I shouldn't buy myself that? And what I was doing, and what so many of us do, is we are constantly shrinking ourselves to our current level of circumstances. And that's not how I was able to begin to reclaim my peace. I had to start asking myself different questions because I was really tired of being broke all the time. And so I eventually made a choice. I was like, this is fucking with my peace. This is fucking with my ability to live a good life. So what am I going to do? What does a wealthy person or a person who has more money do? I'm like, they're going to read books. They're going to take courses. They're going to learn from people who have money. And so that's what I did. I started reading books from a variety of people, getting different perspectives like Dave Ramsey, Tony Robbins, Ramit Sethi. I took some courses, Financial Peace University, put myself through a Master Financial Coaching certification. I went through all the stuff that I could learn to begin to understand how to think, how to feel, and how to act. And something really fucking dope happened. In less than 2 years, I went from having more debt than I had money, not being able to enjoy my life, take my significant others on dates, be able to buy myself nice things, to be able to go and travel, to be able to eat the high quality food that would nourish my body, to being debt free, having over a 6-month emergency fund, meaning if I had zero income coming in for over 6 months, I would be taken care of. I would be fine. I was able to start investing, most importantly, in myself and educating myself, in putting higher quality foods in my body, and being able to travel and to have new experiences that fueled my spirit. Because it wasn't about money. It was about what money, as my dad would say, the options that money would give me, which would contribute to my peace. But the point that I'm looking to make in all of this. Oh, and then the other piece that was actually one of the most important pieces, I didn't even realize it at the time. This is the crazy thing. With money, it was like so about me and like what I could do. But what I ended up finding out was the thing that I was getting the most joy from was that I actually had an abundance to have an abundance where I could then give to others. And I started giving more generously to others and tithing and giving in all the different ways that I could, which those are other fun stories. But it filled up my heart and my soul and my body in ways that I couldn't have possibly imagined. The version of me that was identified with money is bad, money is wrong, people who have money is bad, money's hard to get, it's hard for it to come to me. The identity that I was carrying and holding on to was keeping me where I was at. We all fall victim to this victim or shrunken conscious mentality. We all are doing it somewhere. Be it in our jobs and settling for a job that like is okay and it pays the bills, but it's not really all that great, or the relationship where it's like it's all right, the sex is okay. We really just have gotten to a place of like numbness and avoiding each other at this point, or we're just vehemently angry at each other all the time, or in our money, or in our health. Whenever we choose to settle, we are lowering our vibrational frequency and resonance. We are dipping into our peace. I'm really encouraging you, inviting you right now to really pull this one thing to your mind that you know is most dipping your peace. That if you could snap your fingers and have it any way, it would add to your quality of life significantly. It could radically change the trajectory of where you're going in relationship to your full fuck yes. Because as the story goes for me, as I began to realize when I prioritized my peace, when I prioritized like saying yes to my peace, but it also meant saying yes to changing my identity and investing in an identity of who I was possible of becoming and remembering myself to be. I find myself in a position like I was in March of 2024. I had just went through this process, got myself debt free, all the things that I said. And when I knew this was the moment that I knew that something had really transformed. Because seeing the money in my bank account and being debt free, all those things were nice. But the moment that really hit me was in March. I was working full time as my primary source of income. And my boss, and the boss of my boss, came to me and said, the company's going under. Your job is dissolving. You can either have the business or we have to let you go. But either way, you're going to lose your income. Oh, shit. I was about to go from, I just hit all these financial goals. This is crazy, to I'm going to have no money, no income. And I'm supposed to be leaving at the end of this month to fly to Costa Rica to go to a music and art festival and to experience and travel around Costa Rica. Huh. Well, here's the crazy thing. Where that normally in the past would have freaked me out because of the money consciousness and the identity and the value and the belief that I had, it would have dipped for my peace. It didn't. In fact, because my identity changed, I had already paid for the flights in full. I had already paid for the tickets in full. We had already covered the cost of the Airbnb. We had already rented a car. The only thing that was left was excursions and food, and I had already saved up for that. I chose to be different. I chose to think differently, to feel differently, to act differently. So when that happened, I knew that when I came back from Costa Rica, I wasn't going to have a job, I wasn't going to have an income, but I had prioritized my peace for so long and so deeply over those almost 2 years that I was working on it. I had made so many decisions that in the moment I may have had to sacrifice, and I did, had to sacrifice temporary joy or going out those extra times or going on travels and trips to say, I'm getting out of debt, I'm saving up money, I'm putting myself in a better financial position. I'm going to fucking do it. I have to. For my peace, I have to do it. And so I lost my job and I flew to Costa Rica. I went and had the fucking time of my life. I had so much fun. In fact, I probably am going to go back there and spend some time living there because it was absolutely beautiful. I came back, and because I see now, because I had changed my frequency so radically, my relationship to money so radically, when I came back, no job, I found myself straight into a myriad of incredible opportunities that allowed me to make not only what I had made in my job, but even more than I'd ever made in any job working full time within a year. I made more than that in less than 7 months. I am not saying this to brag. I'm not even saying this to pat myself on the back because I am this crazy, awesome person who did this thing. I say that because I truly believe that the reason why that is because my energy, my frequency was so in alignment. I choose my peace so deeply that God, Spirit, Universe put opportunities into my life that were alignment with who I was being. My identity had changed. I am no longer the same. Whether we know it or not, we are consciously and unconsciously outsourcing and giving away our power and our peace all the time. But the moment that we decide that we are going to be a stand for what truly lights us up, for what truly creates peace, and we can recognize that something has to die in order for something to live. What I mean by that is the version of me that believed that money is bad, I'm not capable of having it, and everything else, that version of me had to die in order for the version of me that would say, I am peaceful, I am prosperous, I am abundant in money, and actually to see it into my reality. That version needed this other version to sunset, to see its end. And that is the opportunity that every single one of us have, that you have, when we say yes to ourselves, when we say yes to our peace, when we say, if it costs me my peace, it's too damn expensive. We have to choose our peace. We have to look at the things that are disrupting our peace and say, no more. I'm choosing to be different. I'm choosing to think, to feel, and to act different. So ask yourself, like really think about, what is the thing that you most want? What is the biggest disruption of peace in your life? And to start to ask yourself one simple question. Insert whatever context that you're looking into, money, health, etc. What does a healthy person, a wealthy person, happy, great fucking sex relationship person, how does that person think? How do they feel? And how do they act? And become relentless about choosing your peace at all costs. Thank you so much for listening to this. I truly hope from the bottom of my heart that this is lighting something up within you to take a stand for something new in your life, to stand for your peace, to stand for your prosperity, to stand for the shit that feels really good. That's what I want for you. And so I hope this helped you in that. And if you want support in and you are prioritizing your peace and creating a life that is authentic to who you are, I would love it if you came and joined me in the community in the Remembrance Dojo. It is the dojo where we remember who we are, who we came here to be, prioritizing our peace by feeling good in our body, and we'll be sharing all kinds of resources to support that. Thank you so much. I love you. I'm praying for your peace, and you have a really dope life. See you in the next one.